Assalamu alaikum, my dear student. This is your mathematics teacher, Ms. Rada Asif from SM Public Academy, Campus 5. My dear student, today we are going to discuss chapter number 7, linear graphs and their applications. So, graphic solution of equations in two variables. Students, we can draw graph in this way also. Students, if we are having maximum values in our table positive, students, we can draw a graph like this, right? If we are having maximum values or all the values are positive, that means x-axis is also positive. You are getting all the values of y is also positive and values of x are also positive in your table. You can draw a graph like this. But if you are getting mixed values, you are getting the positive values of in table and negative values are also there. So you can draw the graph like this. In the center of your graph, you can draw the vertical line, right? But if there are only positive values are there, you can draw the graph like this. You can adjust your graph, you can adjust your x-axis and y-axis according to your readings. Okay? So students, today we are going to solve exercise 7.3 question number 5, bit number 6 together. And let's find it out. How can we solve the equations? How can we put the values of x or y to get the values of another axis? And how can we draw a graph? So student, here we are going to solve together question number 5 and bit number 6. What we have to do in this question, we have to solve these equations by graphical method. First, what we have to do, first we have to take these equations separately. We have to put the values of x, or we can put the values of y to get the values of x. Then we have to draw the table and we have to put the values of x and y in the given table. And then we can easily draw the graph together, right? So our aim is to solve these simultaneous equations by graphical method. Students, first of all, we have to check that this is our equation 1. Here, this y is written alone. So we can easily write this y on the left-hand side. We get y is equal to 2x plus 2. So this is a very easy question. We don't have to, there's no need to separate 2 from x, because it's very easy to solve in this way, that y is already written separately. So we have written it on the left hand side and we get the equation y is equals to 2x plus 2. This is our equation 1. All right. Students, what we have to do first, we have to put any 4 values of x in this given equation, we can take any 4 values of x. We have to put these values of x over here and we can get the values of y. So let's start the question. For example, let's consider let x is equals to, let's take x is equals to -3, right? So if x equals to -3, if we put the value of x, this value of x over here, this equation becomes 2 into -3 plus 2. 2 minus 3, we get 2 3s are 6, plus 2, minus 6 plus 2. When the negative number is greater, answer will be negative, right? 6 minus 2, we get 4. Is it clear? So here, by putting the value of x -3, we get the value of y -4. Clear, students? So let's consider, let's take another value of x. Let x equals to, for example, let's take x equals to -2, right? You can take any of the value plus 2, right? Plus minus 2 into 2 is 4 plus 2. What we have done, we are just putting the value of x, that is -2, in the given equation, right? Now again, the negative number is greater, the answer will be negative. 4 minus 2 gives you the answer -2. So the ordered pair will be -2, -2. Both the x and y coordinates, abscissa and ordinate are -2, right? So students, now let's take x equals to, for example, 1. Let's take any positive value of x. Students, by putting the value of x here, 1, we get 2 into 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes. So are you enjoying? Are you enjoying in solving these? It's too simple, it's too easy. What you have to remember, just put the value of x over here and find out the value of y in this way. Now let's take value of x equals to 2. Students, why I am not taking values, why I am taking small values, why I am considering small values of x? The reason is that we have to draw the graph. Okay, we have to make the graph. If I take the value of x, for example, 12, 13, so it will be difficult for me while I'm making the graph, right? It will become difficult for me for plotting such kind of values on the graph, right? So let's take again a small value, that is x equals to 2. By putting the value of x equals to 2, we get 2 into 2 is 4. Now 2 plus 4 gives you the answer. Yes, 6. Very good. So here we get, by putting the value of x equals to 2, students, we get y is equals to 6. Yes, so it's clear. We have taken 4 values of x. X equals to -3, x equals to -2, x equals to 1 and x equals to 2. So we can easily, as you can see that we can easily get the 4 values of y on given values of x. So we can draw a table like this. We can write down x and y. Now, what is the first value of x, student? First value is, what was the first value? Our first value was -3, -4, right? So your in your table, write down -3, -4. What about the second value? Second value was -2, -2, right? Third one was 1 and 4. And what about the fourth one? Fourth one is 2 and 6. Clear, student? So in this way, we can easily solve our first equation. So this was our first equation, and we have, alhamdulillah, solved equation together. I hope up till now you are not having any difficulty in solving equation, in finding the values of y. Now, student, here second equation is y is equals to x minus 1. Again, this equation is very simple. This equation is very simple. This y is again written separately. So we don't have to do anything. We have to write like this. And this is our equation number 2. Right? So this is our equation number 2. So what we have to do in such kind of equation, again, student, take any 4 values for x, put the values of x in equation number 2 to get the 4 values of y, right? So let's start the solution together. Let x equals to -3. Okay, what is the reason why I am taking the same values? Why I'm considering the same value of x again? The reason is that we have to plot a graph, and on our graph, the point where these two graphs coincide gives you the solution set, right? So that's why I'm using the same points, okay? Here, I am again taking the values of x same. Again, I'm using this value of x value -3 again, just try to get the same value of y. Let's try together to find the value of y. Here, y equation is x minus 1. So we have to put the value of x, that is -3, -1, -3, -1. Both are negative. So we get the answer 3 plus 1, 4. And the sign will be negative, right? So in the ordered pair, we get -3 and -4, right? And here you can see that by putting in our first equation -3, we get y equals to -4. That means on the first step, alhamdulillah, we get our solution set, we get our answer. But what we have to do, we have to take 3 more values of x. So don't worry, we can take the same values of x for equation number 2 as well. Let's consider x equals to, again, we are considering x equals to -2. Now, what was the equation? y is equals to x minus 1. So it becomes minus 2 minus 1. Student, have you remember one thing I have told you in physical classes? When signs are same in addition, subtraction, when same signs are there, what we have to do? We have to add the numbers. We have to add the number. 2 plus 1, 3. And what about the sign? When the signs are negative, we get the answer negative. For example, if there is plus 2 plus 1, we get plus 3. In the same way, if there is minus 2 minus 1, we get minus 3. Right? When signs are same, what we have to do? We have to add the numbers. When signs are same, we have to add the number and we get the sign which is already above we are using. For example, minus 2 minus 1 gives you minus 3. If we are having plus 2 plus 1, we get plus 3. Same signs, we have to add. When the signs are different, for example, here the signs are different, we have to subtract and we get the sign of the greater number. Clear? Now, so student, here we get our ordered pair minus 2 and minus 3. So let's consider x value 1. So we get y is equals to 1. 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So by putting the value of x equals to 1, we get y equals to 0. So simple. Now, last but not the least, we are taking the value, the fourth value of x. X equals to 2, right? X equals to 2. Now, putting value of x equals to 2 in our given equation, we get 2 minus 1, we get 1. So by putting value of x2, we get 1, right? So in our given chart, we can write like this: x and y. Okay, so in this given table, we have written x and y. Now, what was the first value of x? What was the first value of minus 3 and minus 4? So, write it down, minus 3, minus 4. What was the second value? Minus 2, minus 3. Minus 2 and minus 3. The third value, 1, 0. And the last one is 2 and 1. So we have solved, Alhamdulillah, both the equations. And after solving both the equations, students, you can see the tables. So in both the tables, when we put the value of x minus 3, we get the answer, we get the value of y minus 4, right? We get the value of y minus 4. So our solution set is solution set Students, we have to write the solution set in a proper way. First, we have to draw curly braces, then the round bracket. For the ordered pair, we get -3, -4. The students, please remember that the first place must be for our x-axis, right? For our x coordinate. So we get the x coordinate -3 and then y coordinate is -4 within the round bracket and within the curly bracket. So we have solved our equation. We got the separate table for both the equation 1 and equation 2. Now we are able to draw the graph for both the equation. A student, in this graph, what we have done, we have draw a horizontal line for x-axis and negative x-axis, right? I have written 0 in the center where these two axes meet, right? Where these two axes meet, this gives you 0, right? On the right-hand side, I have mentioned the positive values of x. On the left-hand side, I have mentioned the negative values of x. Now, what about the y-axis? I have mentioned the positive values of y at the top, and I have mentioned the negative values of y below this graph. We can see. So, student, I have taken on our x-axis, I have taken 5 small square is equals to 1 unit, right? Look at how many boxes I have taken. I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 small square is equals to 1 unit. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. See? Again, we have to count 5 more boxes. This is equals to 3. In the same way, I have drawn the negative x-axis. What about the y-axis? I have again taken for the scale 5 small square is equals to 1 unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the same way, I have drawn the whole graph 1, 2 till 9 and -1, -2, -3 like this on the negative y-axis, right? Student, very important point is that when you are making the graph, you have to mention the scale at the top first, right? It is very important to mention the scale. What is the meaning of the scale? Scale shows you that on x-axis, how many small squares are equal to 1 unit, right? So here, according to our question, we are having both the positive and negative values. So we have drawn the graph like this. We have draw the vertical line of y-axis in the center of the graph, right? And we have taken the 5 small square. We have taken 5 small square is equals to 1 unit. In the same way, we have taken on y-axis again 5 small squares is equal to again 1 unit, right? So in this way, we can take our scale. If you are having the values greater than 9, more than you are getting the values of x and y, 13, 14, 15, 16, you can make a graph, you can change the scale. For example, I have taken 5 small square is equals to 1 unit. You can also take 2 small square is equals to 1 unit. But when we are taking 5 small square is equals to 1 unit, our graph look more clear, more neat and clean. So we did try to take the small values of x, or you can take the small values of y to get the smaller values of another coordinate, right? So let's start our question. So what is the first value in our table? In our table, the first value, what was the first value? According to our table, the first value was -3 and -4. -3 and -4. So where is -3 in this graph? Look at the x-axis. There is -3. And what about -4? -4. -4 is written over here. So on this point where these two points meet together, we get here, this point is -3. Here x-axis is -3 and y-axis is -4. So we can write it down here. Student, let me clear you one thing. I am using pen over here. The reason was that when I was making graph with a pencil for making the video for you, for recording the lecture, it was not clear. For that purpose, I use here black pen. But please, when you are making the graph, don't use pen, don't use colors over there. You have to use only pencil while you are making the graphs, right? So our first point is -3 and -4. Is it clear? X-axis gives you -3 and y-axis is -4. Now next point is -2, -2. Both the values are of -2. Here we can see that x-axis -2 value is over there. And what about the y-axis? Y is -2 here. This point shows both the values are -2, right? Here x is also -2 and y is also -2. The next point is 1, 4. So where is positive +1? Where is +1? Here x is 1 over here, but you don't take 1 here. This represents your y-axis. You have to take 1 of x-axis and 4 of y-axis, right? 4 of y-axis, look, 1 of x-axis and 4, here 4 of y-axis. Look at the graph. I'm using the scale to clear the concept of yours. The student, look, there is 4, right? And there is 1 on x-axis. Now, where I have to put the point? Where I have to plot the point? Here. Make a small dot, circle around it. We get the third value, 1 and 4. Right? The last value for the first equation was 2 and 6. So here is 2 and where is 6? Yes, here we get the 6 on y-axis. And what about 2? You can see that 2 is written over here. So on this point, we have to draw the circle. 2, 6. Right? So we get our 4 points easily. What we can do here, we can draw a straight line. We can draw a straight line by joining these all 4 points together. Students, look. Student, what we have to do? We just don't have to just join the point. We have to extend this line and we have to make arrows. That means we have to draw the straight line, right? We have to draw the straight line. Now look at this quadrant number 3, where we get the 2 points. Both the points are negative. Look, so these 2 points are lying in quadrant number 3. Very good. So extend this straight line and make arrow like this, right? And here you can write the equation on this straight line. To show that these points we get these points from the equation, that is y is equals to 2x plus 2. That was our equation number 1. Our equation number 1 give these 4 points, right? When we put the value of x, -3, -2, 1, and 2 in this equation, we get the values of y, -4, -2, 4, and 6 in such a way that we can easily draw a straight line on our graph. Now, student, if the second equation's table After plotting the after plotting our second table's graph points on our graph book, and if in our graph we get these two straight lines coinciding on a single point, the point where these two straight lines are coinciding, that points gives you the solution set graphically. Okay? On graph where these two straight lines, this is the straight line, this is our first straight line for the equation number 1, right? We have to draw the second straight line for the equation number 2, and the point where these two straight lines meet together, that point will be the solution set of these two equations, right? So now let's take the equation 2 table. Let's consider the values of equation number 2. So the first value is -3 and 4. Let me show you. The first value was -3, -4, -2, -3 second, 1, 0, 2, and 1. So now let's plot together. Where is -3, -4? Student, this is -3 on negative x-axis, and where is -4? Here it is, right? Where is the second value? -2 and -3. -2 on x-axis, we have taken -2. And what about -3? -3 is written on the y-axis over here. Now, where these 2 points coincide? Okay. Here we get -2 and -3, right? The third point is 1 and 0. Now look at this point carefully. Where is x1? Now look, here the value of x is equals to 1. Now on this point, we have to take the value of y 0. Student, on our x-axis, for example, if I'm taking this point, right? On this point, our y-axis is 0. If we want to draw 1, 0, right? If we have to plot the point 1, 0, we get the point 1, 0 here. If we have to plot the point on 2, 0, then where we have to find out the point? The other point will be mentioned over here on 2. What about 3, 0? Here. Here x-axis is 3 and y-axis is 0. In the same way, student, if I have to plot 0, 1, that means where is x-axis is 0? X-axis is 0 over here, right? And the value of y is 1. Value of y is 1 is over there. So on this whole y-axis, the value of x is 0, right? If I ask you that which point is this, what will you say? 0, 1 or 1, 0? Very good. This point means your x-axis is 0 and y is 1. That means 0, 1, 0, 2. Is it clear? So now let's come on our question again. So this gives you x1 and y0. 0. Make a small circle. We get 1 and 0. Right? Make a small dot and make a small circle. Again, I'm telling you, don't use pen. Okay? You have to use pencil only. Now, where is 2 on x-axis? There you can see 2. And where is 1 on y-axis? Here is 1. So we get 2, 1. So this was the last point, fourth last point of equation number 2. Let's join these 4 points together. Student, this was our first point. The point where these 2 straight lines are going to be coincide, right? So look how I am joining these 4 points together. Look. Right? We have to draw a straight line on our graph for equation number 2. And student, we can easily see. First, let me write second equation of this question. Second equation is y is equals to x minus 1. Now, for these 2 equations, we have drawn the 2 straight lines, and these 2 straight lines coincide at a single point. The single point is -3 and -4. So here on our graph, right? Here on our graph, we can write down the solution set is equals to -3 -4. Is it clear, student? The point where these 2 straight line meets, this point is your solution set. I hope, student, this question is properly clear to you. But if you have any query, if you have any question regarding this question number 5, bit number 6, you can ask me in our physical class. Okay, student, thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.